Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks. Welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we are continuing on in the third case of the game, which we just started recently, so we haven't gone very far. We're just actually now starting the trial, and we didn't have a chance to do any investigating. We're just rushing right into it. Our defendant is an interesting fellow. I'm still kind of suspicious of him, even though maybe I don't think he's a bad guy, but I don't know, the whole thing with him being wealthy, I'm still kind of like, sus. But yeah, so far it looks like we're gonna have to defend him against someone that everybody else doesn't want to defend against. So, I'm kind of worried because I saw there's a lot of characters I'm going to have to voice now that there's like a jury system. So wish me luck, y'all. I don't know. I might have bitten off more than I can chew. But we'll see. I'll do my best. Alright, so the first juror is speaking, this gentleman. I think for the females are not a problem. It's when there's so many men that I have to voice that I'm like, oh dear. Let's see.
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
Okay, she's like a maid. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Okay, younger guy, kind of cocky, arrogant.
Huh! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
I'm gonna try to give them all a British accent, but it might be a little too much, so we'll see. Oh, what the? Oh. No words?
I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Okay. Mr. Naruhodo, those people are...
The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right, I've only ever read about it. I mean, the only time we had a jury system was in Apollo Justice, and they made a big deal about creating it, and yet we never really got to... I mean, I think it was a weird gameplay mechanic they were trying out, and it was just that one and done kind of thing. I don't know, maybe in the future games they'll actually, you know, utilize it, finally. It's kind of cool that they're doing it here, though.
But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Yes. Prosecutor Van Zieks,
who apparently my friends have told me is going to be amazing and I'm going to love him, and I'm like, we'll see. So I was gonna try like a German accent for him due to his name, but right now I'm just like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling such a Dracula vibe from him that I'm just gonna give him a Dracula voice. Oh, I hope it suits him. If it doesn't, I could always change it later.
my lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bayley, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
It kind of could be a little German anyway, because like when I think of the Dracula voice, he's like, I want to suck your blood. Like there's like the W and V thing, so maybe it will sound German after all.
So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
Oh, aren't you dramatic? He feels kind of Edgeworthy, yep.
I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past, the hour for some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as thrice-fired mason.
Thrice fired? Like fired as in because of the masonry for fireplaces? Or fired as in he keeps losing his jobs?
Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very...
Oh god, what voice was I doing there?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
Oh.
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I should accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Okay. Report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. Okay. And the photograph. A photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured from view by an old crooked hat. The fact that they mentioned that means that must be important. Let me actually look at it right now then. Let's see. Court record. Let's examine. 54, Brickmaker. February 15th, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Excuse me. Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying in an omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Okay? Why was his face obscured? Like, why does that matter? His eye closed? Why does it look so weird? Could just be artistic reason. Anything else that important that I can see? The knife. Okay. Alright. I guess we'll see.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are? Good lord, is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by policemen who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them?
Oh, shoot.
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
Alright. There's a blood stain on the right glove.
How did I get into this?
Because we're good people. Alright, let's look at these. Can't move them? Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So that's the blood.
This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Ah, pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Yeah. Nothing... Oops. Can't find anything out of place. Okay. Nothing falling out of the gloves or anything. Okay. Not seeing anything else of importance then.
I'm backed into a corner before I've even started.
Oh, wait. Let's quickly look since we've added more people. Brock von Zeeks is 32. Alright. Prosecutor known as the Reaper of the Bayley. Supposedly the souls of those he prosecutes are eternally damned one way or another. The victim, a skilled but poor brickmaker who lived in the East End. Alright.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least.
Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilded.
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I open my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me, the body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed
How is that possible if there's only 2 of them in there? Like, are the windows big enough for people to, like, see from outside when it happened, or what?
Order! Order! Order!
What's with the ah instead of the E?
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
He likes to do a lot of dramatic pointing and posing and oh boy, here we go. He's kind of flamboyant. I like that. That's funny.
Thank you, Counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Did you have to do such dramatic posing, sir? Oh, Dracula, come on now. Prosecutor Dracula, that's what he's always going to be in my mind. Oh. Interesting witnesses we got there.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
Are you okay, sir? Why are you so cold? Dear Lord, everybody else looks fine.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Sir? Somebody give him some tea or something? Are you able to drive like that? You look shady despite your name. Fair play. Trying to think.
Where's fair play? I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First.
Lady first. Interesting.
I, make hats for gents.
That's an interesting name. It's annoying to see you moving the hat constantly, though. Just take it off, damn it.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir?
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
God, so many people in a voice. Ah! Alright, what the witnesses saw.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it.
Sir, what the hell? You're not a good hat maker if it keeps falling off your head.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it, too.
Oh, you got a wit there, eh?
Francisca's like, a man after my own heart.
No.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony, makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
No.
How quaint.
See, we need to see like the actual vehicle, because I feel like they must have some big windows or something.
I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own.
Because like in our modern day buses, the windows are so big we can always see inside the bus.
But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses?
Huh?
Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene?
How? Are they gonna bring it in?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yes?
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Well, this has never happened before. That they bring an entire vehicle inside.
Bailiff, carry it up here, right now.
The bailiff's like, ah, shit.
Bring forth a stricken omnibus.
That must have been a lot of work. What the frick? It's kind of small, isn't it? I mean, it's still big, but it's like small enough that it could fit in there. Looks weird though.
So that's an omnibus. The omnibus.
Aren't there stairs and stuff that they had to roll it up?
I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers.
Wow, 8 people can fit in that? I was gonna think 4, but damn. Oh, that's why 8 can fit. Okay, so the inside makes sense if it can fit 4, and then the top can fit 4. Excuse me.
4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin. Oh, excuse me. And another 4 on the rooftop deck above.
So it's like a double-decker bus, which they have in London these days. I mean, we don't see them here, which I'm glad. I don't think I'd ever want to have to ride on top. I'd be very uncomfortable.
Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Okay, even if that's true, why would they be looking down inside the carriage? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't they be looking around? What must have drawn their attention to look down? And for, like, if the person is sitting in the front bench, they'd have to, like, turn around just to look down inside, you know? Weird.
Ah, a skylight. Oh.
The penny drops at last, I see. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Ugh, that makes perfect sense, but it's also weird.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Oh, even your hair was moving. Okay.
Very well, I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Okay, 8-seater omnibus. That was the scene of the crime. There were passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night.
I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence?
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. And a little extra. Alright. Extra. Extraordinary. Get it. Okay, so... I thought we could flip the whole thing over. That would have been funny. Yes, we can raise it and flip it over and see the... Okay. The fact that we can even do that is weird, though. What does it say here? Can't look. Omnibus. 418. Phoenix Wright Omnibus? Really? That's funny. This is where he got the idea for the name of his descendant. No, it's not like he named him directly, but still. Can't find anything out of place, but something was flashing. What? So, this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so? That sucks.
Ugh. I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late. Okay. What does that say? Job Masters, London Head Office, London 5th Avenue. Is that where the... I'm trying to... Does the driver sit all the way here? Holy mo... And he puts his feet here? Oh, that's scary. Oh, Lord, I would hate that. No, no, sir. He could easily fall. Holy crap. I don't like that. I don't like it. I have a fear... Ugh. My fear of heights is pretty strong.
You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us.
Okay. Baker Street, Old Street. Ah, Baker Street. I'm excited. But that's probably going to happen in the next case, so won't think about it too much. Strand Street. Okay, let's see. Can we go open the door? Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Ugh, the scene of a murder. It's horrible.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. Okay, what's this?
Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ah, I feel like this is going to be important later. Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. Okay. These are the seats. Anything else?
This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really.
Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here.
A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? Bruh, you have no idea.
Is there anything underneath?
The seat has a handle, it seems.
Okay, here we go. What's in here?
This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubes, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
What are you talking about? There's completely a whole bunch of room on the left side there, sir. But still, they shouldn't be putting their stuff in there anyway. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Okay, so is that it? Nothing like that important. They're probably all gonna say the same thing, right? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure they weren't gonna open something. Oops. No, didn't mean to go back there. Okay. Yeah. Just in case I missed something. Okay, yep. So it was on this side. Oh! Clicked off the game. Sorry. What's this? Before we click on the obvious bloody seat. I see something in the window, too.
Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start.
Oh, the same thing? A lot of focus. Oh, I thought it was different.
It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least.
Okay. What's that? Oh, maybe that's just one of the signs from outside the bus that we can see a little bit of.
That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim's, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Did you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark, but still, weird. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack.
Okay, are we done in here? I think so. Don't really see anything else. Okay, I guess we're done in here then. Alright. But actually, I think this is a good time to leave the episode. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.